On January 28th, WCU faculty and staff received an email containing specific guidelines on how to respond if approached by federal immigration officials. Now, over a month later, students still have not received any guidance. Many people have seen the new road being built here, just a few feet away from Kolowee Community Garden. But what many people have not seen is the unlikely partnership formed between the construction team and the garden manager. After Hurricane Helene hit western North Carolina, hundreds were left without cell service or electricity. It was up to WCU students to gather here at 95.3 to provide hourly updates and information for survivors. In April, President Joe Biden signed a bill that would force viral social media app TikTok to sell to United States company or be banned. 8 months later, TikTok challenged the bill. It's now up to the Supreme Court, and many wonder, will TikTok go dark? This November, Swain County residents will have the opportunity to vote on a referendum that would allow beer and wine sales in local businesses, something residents tell me is long overdue.
It's been an ongoing issue for a lot of business owners that are outside city limits.
For many business owners in Swain County, like Nicole Rogers, selling alcohol has been an unreachable desire.
Like every third person that comes in the door asks us, do you sell beer? And we say, no, it's a dry county.
Currently, the only businesses in the county that are allowed to sell alcohol are resorts and those within city limits in Bryson City. But a new alcohol referendum was proposed after Rogers, the owner of Nantahala General Store, addressed the Swain County Board of Commissioners.
This little business supports 4 families.
The board voted unanimously to add a referendum that would allow the off-premise sales of beer and wine.
I didn't want to be the one to do it, but I felt like I had to.
But it didn't end there. 1 month later, Rogers was joined by several business owners, like Nate Darnell, co-owner of Darnell Farms.
And I have a business that could benefit from on-premise sales.
After hearing from the other business owners, the board agreed in a 4-to-1 vote to add a referendum that would allow on-premise beer and wine sales.
I call this farm OG agritourism, okay? We started before anybody else did. And it really was out of necessity because farming ain't always the most lucrative business to be in.
Swain County businesses aren't the only ones that could benefit from this referendum.
And that's also missed tax dollars for Swain County. Those tax dollars are very needed within the fire department, the police department. I know that they've all been needing help.
Business owners ask voters to consider the benefits of the referendum and trust alcohol sales will be handled responsibly.
And if they vote in favor of letting us have on-premise sales and letting certain places around here have off-premise sales, then I'm going to applaud their trust in us to do it in a responsible manner.
Some in Swain County have been confused by language used on the ballot.
And it says, do you want there to be on-premise sales? Do you want there to be off-premise sales? And I feel like that's just confusing for just your average person who's not familiar with the Dry County law.
Citizens are advised to read carefully before casting their vote and do prior research if necessary. Reporting for WeTV, I'm Marrah Ste. For years, art pamphlets known as fanzines or zines have been used as a form of protest. Often they can spark controversy. This was the case for Paw Boy Mag, a queer furry zine that has been spreading around campus.
Zines are used in a lot of contexts in the artistic community. It's just a way to easily mass produce art.
Slush Puppy began distributing Paw Boy Mag in the beginning of February. The zines depict anthropomorphic characters, or furries, in sexual positions and outfits.
Anthropomorphic characters are characters that usually they take a human form, but they usually have animal characteristics.
Often, furries are outcasted due to assumptions and stereotypes. For safety, Slush Puppy chose to go by his pen name and wear his fursuit. Lizzie, a member of Furries at WCU, chose to do the same to avoid harassment from her peers.
When you join the fandom and you start to learn about all the stigma around furries, I think you just have to accept that's part of what being a furry is.
One of the biggest misconceptions about furries is that for every member, it's a fetish.
It's not a fetish for everybody. Like, for me, I just get to dress up as my favorite characters.
However, the sexualization of furries is part of what inspired Paw Boy Mag.
It's reclaiming the fact that queer people are going to be sexualized, furries are going to be sexualized, whether they are in explicit content or not.
The zines have been distributed in the library, residence halls, and academic buildings, and pinned on bulletin boards. The goal, to normalize queer sex and facilitate conversation.
Those conversations do need to be had because ultimately, when sex is not viewed as taboo and it's rather viewed as something normal, it makes it safer for a lot of people, especially people in the queer community.
Paw Boy Mag has received pushback from both the general public and the furry community.
I don't think that we should just be distributing porn like willy-nilly around campus. I think there's some level of consent that needs to be had.
Slush Puppy has stated the zine is not associated with furries at WCU. However, Lizzie and others are afraid people may assume they were a part of its creation.
Like, I haven't touched my fursuit since I saw the zines, because I'm like, what if somebody sees me and like tries to yell at me or something for this?
Slush Puppy does plan to continue creating and distributing Paw Boy Mag.
It's important to protect members of our community and prioritize that over the comfort level of people who might oppose the community anyways.
Slush Puppy hopes viewers of the zine will push past their initial discomfort and self-reflect.
Why does this make me uncomfortable? Is it just because it portrays sex? Does it have to do with the fact that it's queer sex? Does it have to do with the fact that it involves characters that are anthropomorphic?
Reporting for WeTV, I'm Marrah Ste.